Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Veritas Road podcast. Before we get to the fun, we just wanted to introduce you guys to our new partner, FNX Fitness.
Yeah, I've been having trouble sleeping for about 2 years now, and we don't have to get into why, but I've picked up some FNX Relax sleep aid. It's got some ashwagandha, some melatonin, all kinds of good stuff that'll help you drift off to sleep. Take one of these and sleep on a flat surface, and I guarantee you your sleep's going to improve.
Yeah, I mean, I tried out 2 of those before I handed them off to you, and it was fantastic. And I've been using their Refuel protein powder, which is delicious. I've been using their chocolate malt flavor. It's really good. Dissolves super well in milk, almond milk, water, whatever you want to use. And it's great for recovery. I've been using it post-workout for about a month now. And it's worked out super well. It's got a good whack of protein in there, some branched chain amino acids. It's good stuff. And they sell a full line of fitness supplements, sleep aids. They even have a new CBD line coming out, as well as some clothing as well. So you can go there for all of your fitness needs, really.
Yeah, if you're already using this kind of stuff, we could appreciate helping us out, helping the show out, helping FNX out, and helping yourself out. It's a win-win for everybody. If you use the discount coupon or whatever at checkout, Veritas Road 15, you get 15% off of whatever you're buying.
Yeah, all lowercase, Veritas Road 15, you get 15% off. So, I mean, who doesn't like 15%?
Yeah, we'll put that link in the show notes / description of wherever you're watching or listening to this show.
Yeah, guys, so thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. Hello, and thanks for listening to another edition of the Veritas Road. I'm Carson, back here with Murph, finally. Murph, what's going on, sir?
Nothing much. I've got 2 new cactuses to put on our table.
They look lovely.
Came from my land. Genuine Murray County, Tennessee cactus.
The most famous county in Tennessee for cactuses. Yeah.
I just think it's an interesting little tidbit.
Fair enough. Anything else going on?
No, it's Thanksgiving today.
It is Thanksgiving today. I guess that's kind of noteworthy, right?
Yeah. So naturally, we're going to talk about Christmas.
Right.
Because that's what happens on Thanksgiving. It's the start of the Christmas season,
That's
right?
true. Why is that? Everybody, Thanksgiving hits, and I immediately start listening to Christmas music. Not that I don't. I listen to Christmas music all year. I'm one of those jerks.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
My favorite Christmas song?
Yeah.
That's hard. I definitely am. I can.
So you're making a big deal out of it. Just pick your favorite song.
I don't know that I have one. I have a lot of them. I can tell you my favorite Christmas movie.
I regret asking that question.
You know my favorite Christmas movie?
Sure. That's not what I asked, but...
I know, but I can't answer the question you asked.
Okay. White Christmas. That's a good one.
It is. It's great.
Yeah, I like Home Alone 2, personally.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen any of the Home Alones.
I don't know if that's technically a Christmas movie, but it takes place during Christmas, so...
I think that makes it a Christmas movie, right?
I don't know. The theme's not about, Santa, though. But
I wouldn't know. I've never seen it.
That's okay. We probably talked about this way too long. And you still didn't even answer my question.
My favorite Christmas song?
Yeah. Yes. Come on. Just say something. We don't want dead air.
Michael Bublé's... this is a song, one of the songs by Michael Bublé. I can't remember what it's called.
feel like he's a douche.
Why do you feel that way?
I don't know.
Is it because he's Canadian?
Probably.
Do you hate the Canadians?
There's something about him, man.
They're the nicest people in the world, eh?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're supposed to...
I think I'm getting... Is he... I don't know. Is he similar to John Mayer?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Do they look alike?
No, they don't.
Okay, well then I don't know where I was going with that then.
Do you know who Michael Bublé is?
I might not.
Do you know who John Mayer is?
I do know who he is.
Okay. Yeah, no, they're not similar in any way, shape, or form.
So that was a terrible...
But
I shouldn't have never even asked you that question.
All right, so it is Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We are going to be talking about Christmas. You have any cool Christmas stories? You have any exciting Christmas stories? Anything happen to you cool on Christmas?
No.
Weird traditions?
No, I always got a lot of Legos. I'm actually still hoping to get Legos.
This guy is, how old are you? 26?
26.
26, and still asks Santa for Legos for Christmas.
That's right.
That's crazy.
What do you ask Santa for Christmas? Can I even ask that? Is that too hard of a question for you to answer?
This year, rent money.
Nice.
Yeah, because I'm poor. Finally graduated college, and I'm ready to not be poor.
Okay.
But the way the economy is headed,
just ask.
I'm just gonna
ask Santa Biden to Santa forgive all your Santa debt.
Is Joe Biden going to be president now? Do we know that?
Who knows?
Or is it?
Yeah, it's still not over yet.
Yeah, I mean, I got a bunch of tweets this morning saying Donald Trump had won, but that hasn't happened. That's not true.
Who knows?
I
Who
guess.
cares? I don't know.
So is it just like up to the Electoral College or what?
I don't know, man. That gets into a can of worms that we shouldn't talk about tonight because we're supposed to talk about Christmas.
Oh, yeah, we're supposed to talk about Christmas. All right. So, I mean, Christmas seems to have changed a lot since you and I were little, I feel like.
I can agree with that.
A big part of it for me has been just the fact that it's not always snow. I remember more snowy winters when I was little. I guess I lived a little bit north of where I live now. But I remember more snowy winters
Negligible.
when I was little.
Okay, that's negligible. But I do agree with you. It did snow more when we were younger. Yeah, we haven't had a good snow probably since like 2011 or so.
I mean, I don't think we've had a white Christmas, at least in this part of Tennessee, in what?
Yeah, I didn't never remember a white Christmas. Maybe once growing up. Maybe. But it's been like 70 degrees the past several Christmas.
Which is terrible. You don't want to walk out. Santa's going to burn up if it's 70 degrees and he's delivering gifts.
Global warming, man.
Yeah, right. Is global warming real? Do we know that?
I would say yes.
Okay. Al Gore would be very happy with you.
But not for the reasons that we're told it is. But that's also, we're talking about Christmas.
Well, Christmas and global warming, I feel like there's something going on there, right?
I guess. Hey, you know what would happen if ice melts over water? You know what would happen to the sea levels? Absolutely nothing.
Are you talking about Antarctica?
Yeah,
if Antarctica melted?
No,
the Arctic melted?
Yes, because there's allegedly no land up there. So if it all melted, nothing would happen.
The water level wouldn't change because it's all floating ice?
Exactly.
And that makes sense, actually. Yeah.
So,
is Antarctica melting?
I don't know. Does
everybody know that?
We're just like firing darts as to things that are really get us distracted from talking about Christmas.
I enjoy
What's
talking
Antarctica?
with you.
I don't know. It's south. That we can all agree on that. Antarctica is south.
Yeah.
It's very south.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Christmas time.
Should we restart this?
It would. Why?
Okay, we don't have to.
Why would you want to restart it? We've already talked for this long.
How long are we at, John? And we haven't talked about anything of note.
I don't want to restart. Let's talk about the materialistic and consumerismness of modern Christmas, and how when we were children it really didn't seem as bad. Maybe that's because we were children, but I really feel like it's like ramped up, probably like roughly 2006ish. Like I don't know. Basically,
like a year out of a hat there.
Whatever. Okay, what do you think?
No, I think you're right.
I think it's ramped up basically as we entered our teens. And is that part of growing up, or is that part of just a broader cultural shift in the just Christmas is now a shopping spree? It basically is, all it is.
Like you're talking about like all the attention shifting from like Thanksgiving to Christmas on Thanksgiving. Like nobody ever focuses on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and
Halloween.
it's even before Thanksgiving.
And immediately, like the first thing people go and do isn't really think about like family and spending time with each other and all the like touchy-feely stuff that's associated with Christmas. They go Black Friday shopping.
Yeah, like Black Friday, well, not so much this year, but in every other year besides this year is eclipsed Thanksgiving as a holiday.
Yeah.
It's
like
just like
stores are opening at like 4 p.m.
Yeah,
on
Black
Thursday,
Friday starts on Thanksgiving,
which is crazy.
It's just it's absolute madness. Like it's big. It's the biggest part for most retailers this Christmas season. Like why?
I mean, cause the focus is on buying gifts for people, I guess, right?
Yeah, but I mean, how has it turned into that? Christmas, like think about the Christmas Ebenezer Scrooge Christmas Carol, and how Christmas was like cooking food with your family, and how it's morphed now into shopping. Like what drives that? I want to hear your thoughts on that. I feel like you have good ones.
I'm lucky in that I've been sheltered from a lot of that because my family is so like clannish and close. Like if you take away all the like gifts and junk, we still have a great Christmas because what we enjoy most is getting in the kitchen and cooking. Like that's what we do for fun. But I mean, I don't know. People I work with, especially, like there's this drive to go out and find the perfect gift for their kids. They're always online shopping for junk. They're not actually spending time with their kids or with their parents or whoever. And is that what you asked me?
Yeah, it's pretty similar to what I'm asking. Yeah, it's almost like it's a new addiction to just buy the latest thing or get the latest deal.
And there's nothing exciting about that. Like, if I giving a gift to somebody, I think is great when it's something that's meaningful and personal. But if it's just a really nice iPhone or whatever, what meaning does that have?
That's a great thing that we didn't put on our outline. Is no, seriously, the degradation of gift giving.
Yeah,
like you used to take time to, like, giving a gift would be you knowing someone and giving something good that would surprise them and that they would really enjoy because you know them. Now it's just mindless consumerism. Like you said, it's an iPhone. It's
like,
it's a TV. It's a car commercial where everyone's so happy. And
dude, I've seen so many of those this year. It's all the focus of the media is on treat yourself. Get yourself this car. Get yourself this phone. Get yourself this appliance or whatever. It's not about finding that one thing and somebody opens it up Christmas morning and they look at you and it's like, how did you know? Like, it's crazy.
And why do you have to buy something? Why can't you make something? Like, what's happened to that?
Dude,
like, I gave all my brothers and my family a chunk of cedar. Now, I mean,
is it like the cedar ice cream cone you gave me a while back?
What?
Is it like the ice cream cone, wooden piece of ice cream cone you gave me a while back?
Yeah, it wasn't an actual ice cream cone. It looked like an ice cream cone. Yeah, but it was bigger. It's basically a chunk of a tree.
You gave those to your family.
I mean, but isn't that more unique than just going out and buying a gift card to Walmart?
Yeah, I mean, I think of two things
or
when
Amazon.
we talk about stuff
Probably
like
Amazon.
that. And the first is that scene in The Office, where they're playing Dirty Christmas and Jim's trying to give Pam that teapot, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. What a great show. I didn't know
that show is great. Yeah. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go watch The Office right now, because that scene makes me tear up. The other thing is the best gift I've ever gotten. Well, one of the best gifts I've ever gotten from somebody I wasn't related to was a teapot. It's from an ex-girlfriend, and I noticed it. Caitlin.
Okay.
I noticed a teapot in an antique shop one day, and just it was a little cast iron teapot, and I really like tea and coffee and stuff. And just suddenly, it appears on my front door. A couple months later at Christmas time, and it was just the most meaningful thing. It was incredible, and she's probably spent like $10 on it.
And I feel like that just doesn't happen that much anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, that's so depressing. Like,
it is sad. There's
nothing meaningful about going out and spending a bunch of money on somebody if there's no sentiment or emotion or meaning attached to it. There's nothing truly significant about it.
It's like Christmas right now is just reflecting our society right now. Just farther down the tubes, farther materialistic, farther less personal, and more collective,
Yeah. And you get that constant message, like Christmas is all about love and togetherness and thankfulness, but what are people doing? People can say that all day long, but they're spending their time in stores and on Amazon. They're not actually spending their time with family. They're spending their time working to buy their family stuff. And
and all that messaging is basically like, it's just like, I don't know, virtue signaling as to like, well, since I'm doing this, then I am loving and all that stuff, even when they're actually doing nothing. Did that make any sense? I could have said that better.
I think you should unpack that a little bit more, because I did.
Well, I probably can't, so let's just move on from that.
I mean, I think what you were
trying to say. You get how we feel about this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're right. So, I mean, what do you think's been driving that? I mean, we've definitely come a long way, even since you and I have been alive.
Yeah, what do I think's been driving that? I mean, debt.
Explain.
Debt drives spending. Debt drives materialism. As your money value is eroded, you're constantly under pressure to fit in with those around you and to one-up yourself from before. And debt is not necessarily like the overall more materialistic push that our country has been going through for probably 50 years is driven by debt. So don't let dead air happen. Tell me what you think about that. Or what you think's driving it.
I mean, I'm still not sure I quite understand what you mean.
Like, in order for the economy to grow, you have to spend money, right?
Okay.
Money has to be spent. So, obviously, all these ads and all these companies are going to want you to spend money in order for the economy to grow, in order for more jobs to grow. So as the debt-based economy grows, people become more and more materialistic because they have to be to make the economy grow, to make their jobs get better, you know? So it's like just a snowball effect. The more debt exists, the more spending there is. The more spending there is, the more debt exists.
I mean, you still haven't talked about where the debt's coming from. You're just saying the debt exists.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, the debt comes from the Fed, but that doesn't have anything to do with Christmas.
Okay.
I'm just saying debt is driving the
more companies try to get people to spend money and the more people give in to that advertisement, the more debt exists because they're giving money to these big companies who I guess operate based off of debt.
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. I think that was the missing piece in that puzzle.
Yes. Well, thank you for clarifying that. But I think that's
I just didn't understand.
As far as the physical component, obviously, spiritually, it's much deeper than that. But as far as the physical component of the materialism of modern Christmas, it's debt.
I mean, that certainly makes sense. I would have taken probably a shallower view of that.
Well, then let's hear. I want to hear your view.
Society's focus has shifted because, for whatever reason, people are choosing to spend their time and their money and their energy on, not as good stuff. They're spending all their money, all their time focused on like they're freaking like shows on YouTube and Snapchat and whatever, all about technology and like the latest gaming system and phone, and like why do you want to spend your day watching that?
Yeah, and where's the originality in that too? Like that's another thing, is the originality of gifts and even what people do at Christmas. It's like it's all seeming more and more cookie cutter now, as opposed to like I feel like family traditions are kind of falling away and giving rise to just buying stuff.
Yeah.
Like I know that's how it is in my family, or how it's been.
Yeah.
So your family's obviously a bit of a
anachronism.
Enclave. What's an enclave? Is that the right word?
I don't think it's the right word.
Maybe an exclave. I don't know. But it's like separate. It's like a little separate. It's like Madagascar.
An oddity.
Yeah, an oddity. We'll just say oddity.
Yeah. And that's something that annoyed me as a child because it kept me from interacting with other people. But we're getting word that the enclave was not the right word.
Oh. Okay.
But
should have just let that go, Invisible John.
Yeah. Well,
because I'm not good with words. And Carson was on a roll there. You felt like an oddity. Keep going in your family around Christmas.
Are you done now?
I am done.
Okay. My family being an oddity was something that frustrated me as a kid a little bit, not around Christmas time, but, during the year, because it made it hard to relate to other people. But now it's something I'm exceptionally grateful for, because we do have those traditions around Christmas time. We do have those traditions like today. Every Thanksgiving, every year, after we bake our giant Thanksgiving, everything's from scratch. Like nobody's buying pie crusts or rolls or anything. Everything's being made with actual real food,
Yes, I get it.
We bake cookies. Like that's the big thing we do on Black Friday and the afternoon after Thanksgiving. We bake cookies all day. It's a big thing with my nieces, and then we decorate sugar cookies with them. Today was a little bit different because we had a bunch of random kids over at the house, which was great. Like hanging out with a bunch of like 6-year-olds. Putting icing on sugar cookies is a great time. It's exhausting, but it's a great time. And like that's the kind of stuff we still do, and I absolutely love it now. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But you're seeing less and less and less of that.
Right.
And it's depressing.
It is depressing. I mean, you can tie it right back to the next thing I think we can talk about is the Christ going out of Christmas. Like, so Christmas is supposed to be Christ Mass, right?
Whatever that means, yeah.
So tell me what in the world going to like the mall at 2 o'clock in the morning and fighting people over the next Best Buy TV. What does that have to do with the birth of Jesus?
Obviously, Jesus wants you to have that 70-inch plasma
That's right.
screen.
What does, even Santa Claus, Christmas tree, mistletoe, holly wreath, all that, what does that have to do with Jesus' birthday?
I honestly have no idea. Christmas was always one thing, like growing up in a traditional faith tradition here in the South. Like most of the congregations, most of the people I worshiped with and did religious things with, they were the type of people that would try to ignore Christmas during, like, church gathering hours.
Yeah, during a religious
and then
setting.
go do their Christmas thing separate and apart from that, which never made any sense to me. It's like, obviously this Christmas stuff is going on. We can talk about it inside church. I'm pretty sure we can mention that it's Christmas time. That always blew my mind. And for me, there was never any, really for most of my life, there was never any association between Christmas and like any kind of faith tradition. They were always very separate things, which is confusing when it's supposed to be like about the birth of Jesus or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's beyond confusing. It's a paradox. The name is Christ Mass.
Right.
And if we have nothing to do with Christ, then why are we calling it Christ Mass?
Yeah, I mean, the Catholic Church is about the only faith tradition that still actually acknowledges Christmas and celebrates it within their organization, quote-unquote organization.
I think so. Maybe the Orthodox, but I'm not knowledgeable enough to know that.
I mean, I don't know how big a segment of the religious population here in the States the Catholic Church, holds.
I mean, it's massive, but...
down here in the South. It's
not in the
big,
South, yeah. South is more Protestant, but Northeast is heavily, heavily Catholic, along with all the like Latin population in the Southwest. But
okay, but point being, for me, there was never any like
for us, for sure,
any correlation between church and Christmas, and in general, like a Christmas tree and Santa Claus and candles and snowflakes really don't seem to have much to do with the birth of Jesus in like Jerusalem.
In Bethlehem, in a manger, and all that.
In a barn,
Yeah, so where does it come from?
I mean, traditionally, everybody's taught that, like, oh, Christmas is pagan. By the way, we want you to know we're still going to celebrate it, but Christmas is pagan, so don't celebrate it, but we're still going to have Christmas. Like, it's very confusing the way people talk about it.
Yeah, it is confusing. Here. Like, what do you think? Where do you think the Santa Claus idea comes from?
I don't know. There are all those cool, like, Santa Claus legends from around the world. I enjoy those. I think they're fun. I mean, Santa Claus always to me seemed like almost like a godlike thing. Like it's a big guy with a beard who knows everything about everybody and gives them what they want.
And coming from the north.
Yeah, and just like appears at your house really late one night when you're not looking.
And you can magically travel extremely fast.
Right.
He's basically omnipresent, omniscient, all that.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating.
Like, Santa appears to be some kind of, like, personification of God in whatever, like, wherever the whole Santa
like, explain to a child. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like God explained to a child. It's very interesting.
It really is, yeah. God explained to a child. Like, if you're gonna paint a traditional picture of God in front of a 2-year-old, that's what it would look like, right?
Yeah. But again, what does that have to do with away in a manger?
I mean, I guess
isn't the disconnect interesting?
Yeah, I mean it is. It's odd, and I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that we as human beings seem to do that with. Christmas being one of the biggest. Like, I don't remember Joseph and Mary grabbing a big pine tree and bringing it into the barn.
Yeah.
Did they do that?
They definitely don't. Well, at least not that they're told.
Away in a manger with a Christmas tree with lights on it for a bed.
Yeah.
That's not the song?
It's not in there.
Oh.
I think Jeremiah actually says don't do that somewhere in there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I'm definitely grabbing a Christmas tree this year. Don't be offended.
Is it a real one?
Yeah, always real.
Yeah, that's another thing we could have talked.
Around with that.
Yeah, we could have talked about that on the front end.
What do you mean?
Is all these fake Christmas trees as opposed to actually going out with your family and getting a real one?
Dude, I freaking hate fake Christmas trees.
That switched for us. It switched for my family approximately 2006. You scoffed at that, but we went from going to the what was it? The Saddle White Farm out there on Campbellsville Pike, Invisible. Anyway, we went from going to a Christmas tree farm and getting one to just buying a fake one and putting it in the attic when it's over.
That's just so sad. Like, there's something, for me, maybe it's nostalgia, but there's something very homey and comforting and Christmassy about the smell of a pine tree in your house, which is a really weird tradition. Like,
or cedar, man. It doesn't have to be just pine.
Well, whatever. Like, some kind of needled tree.
There you go, evergreen.
that is an odd. Like, why are we going and putting the tree inside?
Who knows? I mean, it's Jeremiah 10, by the way. Kind of says that don't do as the pagans do. Go out and cut a tree from the forest and adorn it with silver and gold.
Seriously?
Oops. Sorry, Jeremiah.
I will be doing that Monday.
Yeah,
when I
but
go
isn't
buy my
that
Christmas tree.
But I mean, I'm not saying if that's right or wrong. I'm just saying, isn't that interesting? That's completely ignored in religious context as it comes to Christmas time.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of that before ever in my life.
So it's almost like if Christmas is not about Jesus' birth,
which it's not. It's about Santa.
Then what are we celebrating?
Consumerism? I guess.
Seriously, yeah. What do you think? Like, break that down.
That's my
bit.
that is
That's
my
your
answer. Like, we're obviously celebrating stuff. People aren't celebrating family, because the focal point of Christmas, right, is Christmas morning opening gifts. Now you can make an argument that, like, getting to see your 3-year-old open that remote control race car, is a really rewarding feeling. But is that a replacement for all the weekends you spent away from your kid, out of town on a business trip?
Yeah, I mean, I get that point. That's a great point. I would even say, like, even before all the materialistic push for Christmas, it still wasn't about the birth of Jesus. Now, granted, it was much more wholesome, but it just carried on from earlier and earlier. Like, what were people celebrating? Like, I don't know, it's like, was Jesus even born during the winter?
Well, you're asking two questions.
I am.
What were people celebrating, and was Jesus born during the winter time?
Yes, but they're related. They're related, because I'm trying to say, to basically prove that
you're asking a very leading question is what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Let's call it what it is.
Okay.
So obviously, especially here in the South, in Southern Christian tradition, everybody talks about how, like, Jesus probably wasn't born in the wintertime. He was probably born in the summer or spring or fall, or sometime when it wasn't cold, right? Because why in the world would the shepherd be out in the field with the sheep when it's cold, right? That's what everybody talks about. And then, to your point, everybody also talks about the fact that, like, Christmas is probably a pagan holiday centered around the winter solstice, when the pagans would have celebrated whatever god the pagans celebrated. I have no idea. You can listen to our podcast on mythology and religion for more information on that. Podcast episode number 2.
Yes, that's a good one.
Honestly, I learned a lot that one. But yeah, those are the two things I would say to your question. You have anything to share, Murph?
I would say that it would be good for everyone to have a basic understanding of where Christmas came from.
Well, where do you think it came from?
From a Roman holiday called Saturnalia, which is basically a celebration from roughly like December 16th-ish to the winter solstice, where everyone would basically cancel normal societal roles.
Social roles.
Yeah, whatever. Like, kings would dress up in peasants and stuff, and they would give peasants power. This is ancient Rome. They would engage in merry mirth and drinking and all that stuff, and basically just revel in hedonism at the very end of the year during the darkest times of the year.
Almost like a way to fight seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah, it's just, but it's interesting though, because that kind of thing. Not to the same degree, but it's still going on now. Like, at work, people are like, "Oh, everything gets much more lax around Christmas. Yeah. Production kind of stops. Everybody takes vacation around the end of the year. Even if you're still at work, you get Christmas off, Christmas Eve off. So it's kind of the same way. Everything is kind of suspended around the end of the year, and it starts up after the New Year. Like, New Year and Christmas is kind of wrapped into that same idea of kind of flipping around, not so much flipping around anymore, but suspending a lot of social norms around the end of the year.
So, to interject, I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
That kind of encompasses the two holidays. On December 25th, obviously, you have Christmas, where everybody engages in mirth and merriment. December 26th, Boxing Day, which I can't remember if it's in Canada or the UK. Somewhere, Boxing Day is celebrated by switching roles. The I guess back in the day it would have been like the lord of the manor and the servants would trade roles. And that's been happening. That's happened up till relatively recently. I was not aware that was part of the Roman tradition.
Yes,
just now.
Ancient Saturnalia tradition. It's very interesting that is carried forth through thousands of years.
Yeah.
While supposedly celebrating Jesus Christ's birth. That's my point. And I think people should think about that. And decide what they think about that for themselves, because that's what we're all about.
I mean, that is fascinating, and it almost seems to me, and this is a little bit off in left field, but like around the winter months are the times people are most susceptible to, depressive symptoms and poor work quality and that kind of thing. And so what's the best way to fight that? Let's all party, have a good time, drink and be merry, and maybe we'll swap places and have fun. That seems to be a good way to kind of fight off the wintertime blues, otherwise known as seasonal affective disorder.
Yes.
To our psych friends.
Yeah, I just think basically where I'm trying to go with this is I think there's a deeper spiritual meaning to the whole Christmas that people don't really understand. That it almost is a ritual of sorts that is very old and very misunderstood.
Well, so I guess
and sorry to interrupt you, but I think the solutions to that would be either get back to Christmas celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ or don't celebrate it, in my opinion.
That's what I was going to ask you, is like, assuming that the celebration of the traditional pagan Christmas, which you appear to think would be problematic, right?
I just think it's problematic if people are, well, number one, completely materialistic about it, and number two, refuse to listen to maybe what it actually is. Ignorance, probably not so much. Does that make sense?
Well, so do you have issue with the celebration of Christmas then if, in full knowledge of what it is, I still choose to do the Christmas thing, which I do?
I don't know.
Issue with that?
I mean, I personally don't. I cannot give it the same energy as I have growing up. Because
why is that?
Because I'm not sure what it is. Really, it has nothing to do with Jesus Christ's birth. Nothing. That much I think we can agree on.
Yeah, I think we can agree on that.
And I think anybody who observes all the celebrations closely can generally agree on that, unless you're like heavily Catholic.
Yeah.
Which, if you are, I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying, for the most part,
that's about the only sect that actually still gives a lot.
For the most part,
it
has nothing to do with Jesus' birth. So then that leads me to think, well, what in the world am I doing? And it's just extremely materialistic. And I think the family thing is good, but I think it's also an extreme danger to get trapped in what could be a giant ritual.
Maybe you're right. I think, at least for me, the healthiest way to look at it has been, whatever this holiday is, maybe it doesn't have anything to do with Jesus' birth, but it is a great time to, one, like most people are a little, well, at least most people I come in contact with are in a little bit better mood. They're a little bit happier. Like, oh, it's the holidays. Like, things are more lax at work and I can chill out a little bit. I'm going to get some time off to do what I want instead of, clocking in from 9 to 5 every day. And for me, it's been more about recognizing the holiday for what it is. Like, people are going to take some time off of work. People are going to hopefully spend some time with their family. People are going to actually sit down and eat together, and celebrating that specifically instead of all the other junk, because that's the stuff that's worth celebrating now. Because it doesn't happen very often, and when it does, it's that much more special, which is unfortunate, but it is. It's that much more valuable and special now when it happens.
Yeah, I think I can get on board with that. I guess I'm not trying to say that Christmas is wrong. I'm just trying to say that a reflection or your own like contemplation of what you're doing is vital to determine. Like, you need to think about whether it's right or wrong. Most people don't ever even think about what they're doing, Seriously. Right. So thinking about the important things can take away intention is everything too. Can take away the materialistic intention of maybe pumping your energy into something that could be bad, regardless of what time of the year it is.
I think it's fair.
I still don't think it has anything to do with Jesus Christ, and we should maybe also celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ.
Fair enough. I mean, I think that's a fair point. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. I don't have anything more to add to that. That was good.
Okay, well then, how long have we been going?
How long are we at, John?
Give us a timestamp. A stamp of time that...
3 minutes, going on 34.
And then I think it's a perfect time to start our plug, Carson.
All right. I mean, is there anything else we want to talk about in reference to Christmas, Murph? Anything else you want to discuss?
Honestly, the time just kind of got me just a little bit frazzled. What did you ask me that again?
Anything else you want to talk about Christmas?
I don't know. I think we've pretty much hit the nail on the head. We want to save what we think actual Christmas might be for a later episode.
Oh yeah. So
it's coming on Christmas Day is the plan.
This is episode 9 going out.
Breaking the fourth wall, everyone.
We'll be releasing, hopefully, the episode on Christmas Day, which we're very excited about. That one's going to be an interesting one. It will definitely be a lot longer than this, which I don't know if I'm excited about that or not. So, yeah, guys, thank you for listening. You can check us out on all of the social media. I'm not going to list them all because you know what they are.
Yeah, I will list them all. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, blah, 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 BitChute, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So,
yeah, Patreon, Subscribestar.
Yeah, that's where we would love some cash. Carson's got a blog that he'll write on eventually.
Yeah, I'm thinking about making it more of a vlog.
Living a vlog.
Yeah.
I approve. You need a GoPro?
No.
I got one.
I don't. Thank you, though.
Okay. Living against the grain. There really is useful recipe for bone broth there. I'd recommend it to everyone.
Yeah, bone broth's really simple.
Yeah, it's good for the immune system.
Yeah. Also, check out FNX Fitness.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, there was a commercial for it, I think, before the show.
It was. We should probably redo that eventually, but...
We will.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas and a half.
Right.
Or Merry half a Christmas, excuse me.